Oh my god, what is happening to Microsoft stock? As you can see, it's down by more than 11% in just one day. So if you're looking at this chart right here, this is really worrisome for Microsoft when you see the price right here. So this is what we're going to be discussing in our episode today. Welcome to the Geeky Investor, where stocks talk and we translate. So we're going to be discussing this, the Microsoft stock after shocking earnings. So before we proceed any further, please make sure you smash the like button because it really helps grow the channel larger. So first of all, the stock, I'm going to show the highlighter here. So the stock was down by 11% thus far after the earnings call. And we know that capital expenditure has actually jumped 66% year on year, now reached $37 billion in Q4 2025, which is called Q2 2026 for Microsoft's earnings themselves. So this kind of spooked markets and has really led to the decrease by 11% for the stock because of worries about heavy upfront AI costs. So really what happened, the net margin has increased to 23%. So as you can see, these are very good news. So one would expect the stock to be really high up, and the revenue was up by 17% and the net margin, the net income was 23%. So the margins kind of improved, which led to more net income as compared to the revenues. And if you also compare that to the expected from the analysts, we can see that the Microsoft has actually beaten those expectations. And Azure, this cloud AI revenue has grew 38% year on year and has slightly slowed than the previous quarters, although there is rising concerns about momentum, so there is kind of lower than expected growth, and this was one of the reasons why the stock was down. However, the famous CEO from Microsoft, Satya Nadella, so as you can see, this CEO has really done phenomenal job for the company and for the stock since his takeover of the company. As you can see that on the chart right here, so almost 2015, we can see 800% increase in the share price. So this is really phenomenal to see for such a company and for such a share price of a very mature company. However, CEO Satya Nadella has defended this spending, arguing that AI demand still far exceeds supply and will pay off in the long term. And we can even see in the short term, there are some few things that are paying off, which we're going to be discussing in the next slide. So Microsoft is embedding AI across products, especially Office 365 and Copilot, which is aiming to boost pricing power and margins. Now, let's zoom in on the graph right here. So as you can see, this dark blue represents 40% year on year percent change, which is in the positive, and then as you can see, just in the red, in the pink and red, this is the negative margin. So as you can see, most of the cloud businesses, so Azure, Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365 commercial and cloud, and Microsoft 365 consumer cloud, search engines, Windows and Xbox have all done phenomenally well, except for the Xbox, which was kind of in pink for Q2 2026, which is kind of, considered for us to be Q4 2025. So this was the only thing that was down, but as you can see, Azure was up by 39% and Microsoft 365 Consumer Cloud was up by 29%. Really nice growth in these particular segments. Now, 45% of Microsoft's future cloud contracts are kind of tied to OpenAI, which raises a lot of concerns for the analysts about customer concentration in just one company, which is OpenAI, or the kind of parent company of ChatGPT. So the company, or Microsoft, has really emphasized diversification historically, noting that 350 billion in contracts come from non-OpenAI customers globally as of right now. So it's not just, like 45% in OpenAI by itself, but there's also 350 billion contracts that are coming from non-OpenAI customers, from different companies. So they're kind of telling you that they are kind of diversified. They're not just putting all of their eggs in one basket, which is basically OpenAI. And Microsoft has actually already recorded a $7.6 billion accounting gain from its OpenAI investment, because we all know that the investment, the potential valuation is almost 750 billion. So they have made 7.6 billion, which is really nice to see some returns coming to Microsoft already from the time being before, as they were discussing, that Microsoft is embedding AI across products and that AI demand still far exceeds supply and will pay off in the long term. However, we can already see in the short term that there is some profit here from the investment. So it holds 27% stake in OpenAI, so 1/4 of ChatGPT company is owned by Microsoft, which is now pursuing a funding at a valuation of roughly, as we said, 750 billion, potentially delivering massive returns to Microsoft. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is this drop in Microsoft's price expected and makes sense, or you think that it's going to go back to this chart right here and it's going to just, blow the roof and go up all the way? So I'll see you in our next video.